Well, I'm happy to have a bit of an opportunity today to talk about the shortage of priests, the vocations crisis that's actually impacting every single jurisdiction here in North America. There's not a single jurisdiction that's not short on priests. It's something we've been talking about for several decades, but we've just been getting by, so now it's reaching a crisis point. Not only do we have way too many priests who are working past normal retirement age, like in the OCA, I just learned very recently, now the average age for a priest to retire in the Orthodox Church in America is 71. And that's actually lower than in some of the other jurisdictions. And you know, we've got great priests who have served for many years, given their life for this. They're the Matushki, the Churiet, the Presbyteras, they all give their lives, their kids. But you know, you reach a point where you have no energy, you're tired, and that begins to impact the parishes, and the parishes begin to have that same kind of tiredness reflecting from the priest's energy level himself. Then you have the boomers like myself who are very close to retirement age, and there are just a whole lot of us when you look at the demographics, and that means that there's going to be even more vacancies. When we look back to see who's coming up the pike after us, that's where we also see a real deficit. We do not have nearly enough qualified candidates being prepared for ordination. There are people who would like to do shortcuts, you know, well, is a 3-year accredited Master of Divinity degree, you know, the way, the only way to prepare candidates for ordination? Well, it's certainly the best way. It's interesting that when St. Vladimir Seminary was founded in 1938, it was founded with the intention of being an academy. And in the Russian tradition, there were only a handful. There was Moscow, St. Petersburg, Kazan, Kiev, and St. Vladimir's, of course, achieved that status in 1948. And when St. Vladimir's was founded, it's very interesting reading the founding documents because the bishops were very concerned that it be a missional school that is engaging is engaging the culture with Orthodox Christianity on a highly educated level, because the bishops knew in 1938 that the trajectory for America was a highly educated society. So they wanted to make sure that the clergy were of a high standing, and that's why we are a graduate level school with a reputation globally for being the sort of gold standard. So for the 21st century, we're trying to figure out that balance between high academic standards and the practical. We are now working with the most heavily indebted generation in American culture financially. The burden from student loans is sinking. I think that's part of the crisis for vocations. We all know what priest salaries are. They're also not the best for actually extracting yourself out of the hole that we dig with student loans. About 6 years ago, we started a tuition initiative that every graduate can graduate tuition debt-free, because out of our own endowment we give 50%. If they raise another 25%, we'll match that. So 100%, okay? We're doing our part, but God knows that's not enough. So we need all of the bishops, all of the jurisdictions, the faithful in the parishes. If you want priests, you've got to step it up, because not only do we have the expenses for educating the seminarian, professors and the facilities and all the rest, it's just simply keeping the lights on. And that's where we come back to the question I asked at the beginning. Is this the direction that we want? Because we can actually take another direction, which would actually be a case of, I know it sounds a little rude, but of sort of dumbing everything down just so we can fill a hole. And I think that's not what we want to be doing.